Hello, welcome to Jenny's Food Network. Welcome to part 2 of my video on how to cook soup. And it's the cream of potato soup, okay? I had already boiled the water, put the leftover chicken breast meat on the bones, and it's boiling right now. I forgot to mention that I do use garlic and ginger, fresh garlic and ginger. Do not use the powder form, okay? They're completely different, and they're completely horrible of the powder form. The fresh ones are much healthier because of the fresh enzymes and the fresh antioxidants in them, and the juices are still there and the fibers there as well. So I'm gonna start cutting these, and I use about like a handful size of ginger. Try not be careful in using too much because it could make your soup very spicy with ginger flavor, okay? So about this much is decent, because by the time you mince it, they're gonna be expanding and be poofy, and it'll be a lot. So this is pretty good, okay? And I use 2 cloves of garlic, okay? 2 whole garlic clove. And right here is the first one right here, and here's the second one that I will be using, okay? So it's gonna be very garlicky and very gingery, very delicious, okay? So I had already, broken the first clove of garlic, I'm sorry. Just peel it and put it here. Once you cut it, you have to compress it with a knife here, and it's much easier to peel, okay? Some will peel nicely, but some won't. Compress, compress. This one's peeled already. Alright, to save time, I'm going to go ahead and show you. If you're wondering, let me zoom up on here. Okay, if you're wondering how to peel or cut garlic, so here's the butt end stem of it, okay? So cut the butt end stem off. Watch out your finger, okay? Cut slowly. So remove that butt end off. And here you have, just try to get the extra peels off. And to make it easier to peel, you take your knife here and then compress down. It kind of helps break open the skin much easier, so it's easier to peel. Okay? See, it's much easier. I will finish the other ones later. And try to boil the garlic and ginger in with the soup as soon as possible, because it's going to need time to, to boil and be cooked more, so the flavor comes out. So each bite of the garlic and ginger will not be too strong in flavor in your mouth. So here's the ginger amount that I'm going to use, okay, like a handful. Alright, so if you're wondering how to cut, believe me, using a peeler is a nightmare. They don't peel very well, and you can cut your finger too while peeling. So what I do is I use my knife. I use my knife here, and I cut around it with a knife, much safer and much quicker. There will be some woody stem on it left. See, it's going to be hard to get these gaps. Don't worry, once you put them into your soup, the woody part will float. And just use a small miniature or any strainer and scoop it up, okay? And the real ginger part and the real fresh ginger part will sink to the bottom, but the woody part will float, okay? So you can scoop it out. It's not going to be perfect for ginger root, okay? They're difficult to be perfect. Here's another one to demonstrate. Here we go. The parts that are more complicated, like this big whole piece here, just break it off and then do it separately. Okay? Break it off. Here we go. That one's done as well. Here's the biggest piece that I have. these pieces right here, I don't care to use them. You can't really peel, you can't really get much out of it anyways. So I just come down and trim it off to get a nice flat surface, okay? Once you start cooking more and start cutting more, you'll be more comfortable using knives. Especially if you're not used to using knives much in cooking and you're afraid to cut yourself. You'll figure it out as you cook more. You'll start to angle the knife a certain way to peel things off more easily for yourself. See? Very last piece, very tiny, right? Just rotate it side to side and then just trim that in. Here we go. So from that piece down to this much ginger, okay? So I'm going to take these garlic and ginger, I'm going to rinse it off in water. Here you have it. Now I'm going to start mincing it, okay? So your countertop, make sure you get rid of the gunk, throw it out. Oh yeah, I have to still do the garlic that I'm not done yet. I'm going to put the extra ones that aren't fully peeled yet to the side of the ginger. I'm going to clean this cutting board out. So I'm going to rinse out the extra gunk on here, okay? Rinse it out. Okay, just to clean the extra gunk out. Okay, so here we have the ginger, for example. Okay, so when you cut, I'm going to cut them in slices across, okay? And then, here, I'll show you. See, they're in slices however thin you can make it, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead, like little thin chips. I'm going to go ahead and cut across and we're going to mince it. We're going to chop it very thinly into tiny pieces. The smaller the pieces, the better it is when you put in your soups or foods, so you don't get such a big chunk of ginger flavor. It'll break up more evenly throughout your soup or stir fry that you're using it for. For me, I like it minced down to this size, but if you like it in bigger pieces or if you want it in smaller pieces, it's up to you. Just be creative, you know, depending on how much time you want to put into your cooking. This is about good for me. I don't want to go too thin because it's going to take too much time. I don't need to spend too much time on ginger, on chopping it. You see how much, I'll bring it up close so you can see. That's how I like mine, more minced up like that, okay? So I'm going to do the same for the rest of this, okay? Don't forget, garlic is a little more tougher, more rounded, so when you chop like this, they kind of fly around, so make sure you kind of cut it more gently with more stability when you cut down. Don't just do this, because you'll see it start popping out to the side off the cutting board. So you learn as you go, okay? Thanks for watching and continue on to my next part.